A Lady's Book of Etiquette by Florence Hartley. A lady is never so well dressed as when you cannot remember what she wears. No truer remark than the above was ever made. Such an effect can only be produced where every part of the dress harmonizes entirely with the other parts, where each color or shade suits the wearer's style completely, and where there is perfect neatness in every detail. One glaring colour or conspicuous article would entirely mar the beauty of such a dress. It is unfortunately too much the custom to wear any article or shape and make that is fashionable, without any regard to the style of the person purchasing goods. If it is the fashion, it must be worn, though it may greatly exaggerate the slight personal defect or conceal or mar what would otherwise be a beauty. It requires the exercise of some judgment to decide how far an individual may follow the dictates of fashion in order to avoid the appearance of eccentricity, and yet wear what is peculiarly becoming to her own face or figure. Another fault of our fair countrywoman is the extravagance in dress. No better advice can be given to a young person than to dress always according to her circumstances. She will be more respected in a simple wardrobe if it is known either that she is dependent upon her own exertions for support, or is saving a husband or father from unnecessary outlay, than if she wore the most costly fabrics, and by doing so incurred debt or burdened her relatives with heavy, unwarrantable expense. If neatness, consistency, and good taste provide over the wardrobe of a lady, expensive fabric will not be needed. For with the simplest materials, harmony of colour, accurate fitting of the figure, and perfect neatness, she will always appear well dressed. General rules. Neatness. This is the first rule of all to be observed with regard to dress. Perfect cleanliness and careful adjustment of each article in the dress are indispensable to a finished toilette. Let the hair always be smooth and becomingly arranged, each article exquisitely clean, neat collar and sleeves, and tidy shoes and stockings, and the simplest dress will appear well, while a torn or soiled collar, rough hair, or untidy feet will entirely ruin the effect of the most costly and elaborate dress. The many articles required in a lady's wardrobe make a neat arrangement of her drawers and closet necessary, and also require care in selecting and keeping goods in proper order. A fine collar or lace, if tumbled or soiled, will lose its beauty when contrasted with the same article in the coarsest material, perfectly pure and smooth. Each article of dress, when taken off, should be placed carefully and smoothly in its proper place. Nice dresses should be hung up by a loop on the inside of the waistband, with the skirts turned inside out and the body turned inside of the skirt. Cloaks should hang in smooth folds from a loop on the inside of the neck. Shawls should always be folded in the creases in which they were purchased. All fine articles, lace, embroidery, and handkerchiefs should be placed by themselves in a drawer, always laid out smoothly and kept from dust. Furs should be kept in a box alone, and in summer carefully packed, with a quantity of lump camphor to protect from moths. The hat should always rest upon a stand in the bandbox, and the shape and trimmings will both be injured by letting it lie either on the face, side, or crown. Adaptiveness. Let each dress worn by a lady be suitable to the occasion upon which she wears it. An outfit may be as offensive to good taste and propriety by being too elaborate as by being slovenly. Never wear a dress which is out of place or out of season under the impression that it will do for once or nobody will notice. It is in bad taste to receive your morning calls in an elaborate evening dress, and as it would be to attend a ball in your summer wrapper. Harmony. To appear well-dressed without harmony, both in colour and materials, is impossible. When arranging any dress, whether from home, street, or evening, be careful that each colour harmonizes well with the rest, and that no one article by its glaring costliness make all the rest appear mean. A costly lace worn over a thin, flimsy silk will only make the dress appear poorer, not, as some suppose, hide its defects. A rich trimming looks as badly upon a cheap dress as a mean one does upon an expensive fabric. Observe this rule always in purchasing goods. One costly article will entirely ruin the harmony of a dress which, without it, though plain and inexpensive, would be becoming and beautiful. Do not save on the dress or cloak to buy a more elaborate hat, but let the cost be well equalized, and the effect will be good. A plain merino or dark silk with a cloth cloak will look much better than the most expensive velvet cloak over a cheap Delan dress. Fashion. Do not be too submissive to the dictates of fashion, at the same time avoiding oddity or eccentricity of dress. There are some persons who will follow, in defiance of taste and judgment, the fashion to its most extreme point. This is a sure mark of vulgarity. Every new style of dress will admit of adaptation to individual cases, thus producing a pleasing as well as fashionable effect. Not only good taste, but health is often sacrificed to the silly air of dressing in the extreme fashion. Be careful to have your dress comfortable and becoming, and let the prevailing mode come into secondary consideration, avoiding always the other extreme of oddity or eccentricity in costume. Style and form of dress. Be always careful when making up the various parts of your wardrobe that each article fits you accurately. Not in the outside garments alone must this rule be followed. An ill-fitting pair of corsets or wrinkles in any other article of underclothes will make a dress set badly, even if it has been itself fitted with the utmost accuracy. A stocking which is too large will make the boot uncomfortably tight, and too small will compress the foot, making the shoe loose and untidy. In a dress, no outlay upon the material will compensate for a badly fitting garment. A cheap calico, made to fit the form accurately and easily, will give the wearer a more ladylike air than the richest silk, which either wrinkles or is too tightly strained over the figure. Collars or sleeves, pinned over or tightly strained to meet, will entirely mar the effect of the prettiest dress. Economy. And by economy, I do not mean mere cheapness. To buy a poor flimsy fabric, merely because the price is low, is extravagance, not economy. Still worse, if you buy articles because they are offered cheap, when you have no use for them. In purchasing goods for the wardrobe, let each material be the best of its kind. The same amount of sewing that is put into good material must be put into a poor one, as the latter will soon wash or wear out. There must be another one to supply its place, purchased and made up when, by buying a good article at first, this time and labour might have been saved. A good, strong material will be found cheapest in the end, although the actual expenditure of money may be larger at first. Comfort. Many ladies have to trace months of severe suffering to an improper disregard of comfort in preparing their wardrobe, or in exposure after they are dressed. The most exquisite ball costume will never compensate for the injury done by tight lacing. The prettiest foot is dearly paid for by the pain a tight boot entails, and the most graceful effects will not prevent suffering from exposure to cold. A light ball dress and exquisite arrangement of the hair too often make the wearer dare the inclemency of the coldest night by wearing a light shawl or hood to prevent crushing delicate lace or flowers. Make it a mixed rule to have the head, feet, and chest well protected when going to a party, even at the risk of a crushed flower or stray curl. Many a fair head have been laid in a coffin, a victim to consumption, from rashly venturing out of a heated ballroom, flushed and excited, with only a light protection against the keen night air. The excitement of the occasion may prevent immediate discomfort in such cases, but it adds to the subsequent danger. Details. Be careful always that the details of your dress are perfectly finished in every point. The small articles of a wardrobe require constant care to keep it in perfect order, yet they will woefully revenge themselves if neglected. Let the collar, handkerchief, boots, gloves, and belt be always whole, neat, and adapted to the dress. Attention to these minor points are sure tests of taste in a lady's dress. A shabby or ill-fitting boot or glove will ruin the most elaborate walking dress, while one of much plainer make and coarser fabric will be becoming and ladylike if all the details are accurately fitted, clean, and well put on. In arranging a dress for every occasion, be careful that there is no missing string, hook, or button, that the folds hang well, and that every part is even and properly adjusted. Let the skirt hang smoothly, the outside ones being always about an inch longer than the under ones. Let the dress set smoothly, carefully hooked or buttoned. Let the collar fit neatly and be fastened firmly and smoothly at the throat. Let the shoes and stockings be whole, clean, and nicely fitted, and let the hair be smooth and glossy, the skin pure, and the colours and fabric of your dress harmonize and be suitable for the occasion, and you will always appear both ladylike and well-dressed.